Hello, it's Friday's Northern Exposure. Now, today I thought we'd try and take you on a bit of a behind-the-scenes tour. Now, this is the place that I come to when I'm feeling a bit cold, and it's been a pretty miserable summer so far, so we've had lots of that. You come in from a job where you've been standing out in the rain and wet all day, and this is a great place to come and hide out. These halogen lamps are kicking out a fantastic amount of heat. Halogen lamps? Well, where are we? Well, of course, if you haven't guessed already, we're in the main North Tonight studio, or Studio 1 as it's called. Bill, my cameraman today, I promise you, Bill, I'm not going to make you walk backwards today. I'll do the walking backwards up in the steps. Now, this is a familiar sight, the North Tonight logo on this plasma screen here. This would be what we call the telly on the stick position, the second presenter position, and I would be addressing camera 2 on the far side of the studio, doing the regional opt for Aberdeen and the north of Scotland, all the way from, well, I suppose kind of Montrose north towards, is it Muckleflugga? I think it's Muckleflugga, somewhere like that. Now, up at the main stage here, this is where Andrea will be sitting tonight, down here in her seat of power. It's amazing how low the seat's set, but Andrea's not got the longest legs. But what she does need to have long legs for is, I don't know if you can see underneath the bill there, this little sewing machine pedal. I call it the sewing machine pedal, more macho men might call it the accelerator pedal. But that runs the auto cue when we're operating our own bulletins. Underneath there we've got a bin as well, which Andrea puts her chewing gum in, and a nice light which just helps lights the front of the desk. Now, we've got our scripts here, which always end up in the bin afterwards. You don't want to confuse an old script with a new one. That can be very embarrassing. And a lot of people have actually asked me, what's the laptop for? Well, some people use the laptop for what it's meant to be for, but I just tend to keep a check on what the dandy dons are up to through the day. So it's a great help. Very calming just to see that Aberdeen were third last year when I'm in the middle of a news bulletin. Another vital part of the operation are our monitors. Without them, we wouldn't be able to see what was being broadcast. So if you lose communication links between you and the gallery or you and a reporter out on a live location, you've always got the monitors which will tell you what we are broadcasting, and that will get you back on track. Andrea's kind of paraphernalia here, an earpiece. We'll not get a zoom in of that. You can just imagine that just pops in your ear so you can hear the director. Sometimes you don't want to hear the director. And of course here, this other long cable is the microphone. Sometimes during the night programme we use radio microphones to walk between, and we clip into them once we've finished with that, the walking bit. Now, coming over here, we've got a little paddle as well, and a little talkback box where we can hear the director and the people in the studio talk to them if we need to. This would be the position where Tyrone would stand, or a guest might stand if it was Cheryl doing a report, and obviously address the presenter when we're doing teases. As you can see with Bill here, we've got a whole array of different cameras. 4 cameras on PEDs, I think they're called, kind of hydraulic rams that go up and down. And there's also another camera above here, which I think is a sort of secondary backup one. And the very far side for the huge wide shot that we do all the way up here. I think that's called camera 5, but I couldn't be entirely sure. Now, if you look even above your head there, Bill, the roof of the studio isn't something people always see. And we've got what are called cool lights. They don't give out as much heat as the halogens, these kind of bars here, and they light quite in a flooding way. And then we've got specific key lights, which just give a bit of definition on our faces and keep making Andrea and everyone else look so beautiful. Up here, onto the walkway, this is where Tyrone or Andrew would start the programme on an evening, and they would have this huge big back projection screen. It's lit from behind with a very fancy computer animated slide just going round, and that's just, I think it's a sort of very fancy bit of perspex with a kind of effect on it. But this is the studio, this is where our home from home is, and I have to say, after you've done half an hour in here, you're almost ready for a shower. The lights are so incredibly hot. Sometimes if it's a stressful programme, it can feel even hotter.